Navratri, which means 9 nights, is a 9-day celebration of Adi-Shakti that occurs throughout Bharat post sunset. There are 4 Navratris: Magha Gupt Navratri in January and February, Chaitra Navratri in April, Ashadha Gupt Navratri in June and July, and Shardiya Navratri in September and October. Gupta Navratris are secret Navratris and often include tantric practices, but Chaitra and Sharad Navratris are more societal or loukika and hence widely celebrated. Sharad Navratri, which occurs over 9 days, is the fight between Mahishasura and Devi and culminates in her victory on the 10th day, which is called Vijaya-dashami. Sharad Navratri is also called Matru Paksha because it occurs after Pitru Paksha or Mahalaya, which is the period of ancestor worship and celebrates mother as the womb of all creation. Together, Pitru Paksha and Matru Paksha represent samsara or the eternal cycle of birth and death. Navratri is celebrated in different ways across Bharat. In East Bharat, it is called Durga Puja, where mother is worshipped at home and in amazing Devi pandals. In Gujarat, Navratri is celebrated with Garbha, a dance form where people dance around an earthen pot with a lamp in it. The earthen pot represents Garbha or the womb, and the lamp represents the creation of materiality or Maya. In southern Bharat, Navratri tends to be more cultural and philosophical. In fact, in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, they keep Gulu, which is a tiered, multi-layered step of dolls. In the north, Navratri is celebrated as the victory of Sri Rama over Ravana, and an effigy of Ravana is burnt on Vijaya-dashami. The first 3 days are devoted to Lakshmi, the feminine aspect of Tamoguna or the material aspect of the universe. The second 3 days are devoted to Durga, the feminine aspect of Rajas or Rajoguna, which is passion or anger. The last 3 days are devoted to Saraswati, who is the feminine aspect of Sattva-guna or balance or harmony in the universe. Sharad Navratri is one of the most important festivals in Bharat that celebrates both the fight between Mahishasura and Durga and also the internal conflicts that we have when we act. We generally act to achieve something or as a response to stimulus, but before acting we hesitate because we experience an anxiety to the consequences of our actions on our sense of identity or Shiva, the masculine component of our identity. This inertia is tamas, and the energy that enables us to overcome this diffidence or hesitation and act is Shakti, the feminine component of our expression or our identity. Importantly, while our masculine component is generally static, our feminine component is dynamic and multidimensional. This feminine component is worshipped during Navratri. The first day is devoted to Shailaputri, the daughter of Himavan and Mainavati. Shaila means mountain and Putri means daughter, and she represents the energy that activates Shiva, our primordial identity. In the Puranas, Shailaputri is Parvati, an avatara of Dakshayani. After Dakshayani died at Daksha's Yajna, Shiva lost his Vama Bhaga or left side or Shakti and went into Samadhi with only his right side or Dakshina Bhaga as Dakshinamurti. This gave Tarakasura a chance to rule the 3 worlds and to bring him down. Kartikeya was required, so Shakti had to reincarnate. Shailaputri wears orange, signifying Rajas, Kama, energy and ambition. Ruling the moon, she represents the Muladhara Chakra, the dormant Kundalini and the earth element. Her favorite flower is jasmine. She rides Nandi wearing a crescent moon in her tresses, carrying a Trishulam in her right hand and a lotus in her left. Puja to Shailaputri is done with Ghatastapana. Ghata signifying the womb of creation. 3 shallow mud dishes are filled with Navadanyam or 9 cereals and left to germinate. Since Dhanyam is a cognate of Dhanam or wealth, Shailaputri represents all wealth that is related to the earth. Brahmacharini is the Devi who practices Brahmacharyam and is worshipped on day 2 as Aparna, or she who stopped eating even bilva leaves. Here, Devi is celibate and focused on winning Shiva. Practicing austerities, she is Sattva and wears a white sari with orange border, with kamandalu or water gourd in her right hand and a Rudrakshamala in her left. In the Puranas, sage Narada visited her parents' house and extolled the virtues of Shiva, igniting her desire to merge with him. Against the wishes of her parents, she undertook severe penances and overcame Shiva's tests. Next, the Asura Prakandasura attacked her. Since she was in tapas, she was unable to defend herself. So, Lakshmi and Saraswati tried to help her. Then her kamandalu, which was next to her, fell, releasing its waters, which turned into a torrent and swept away the Asura horde. Disturbed, Parvati woke up in anger and burnt the Asuras into ashes. Brahmacharini represents the Swadhisthana chakra and water. She rules Mars or Mangal, and her worship enables Vairagyam or dispassion. So on this day, worshippers practice tapas and fasting. On day 3, Mother manifests as Chandraghanta. Wearing a red sari, she represents Rajas, the energy that overcomes diffidence and inertia and bestows her worshippers with courage while removing physical and mental tribulations. She loves milk and milk sweets and rules Venus or Shukra. In the Puranas, after Devi married Shiva, she settled down in Kailasha. But Tarakasura, who knew that Devi's presence in Kailasha would destroy him, sent Jatukasura to kill Mother. At first she was scared, but encouraged by Shiva, she went into battle. When she came out, she was confronted by a sky that was darkened by bats. So Mother asked Moon for light, and he sat on her tresses while she used a bell or ghanta to drive away the bats. Then sitting on a wolf, she slew Jatukasura with the bell or ghanta. She is also called Vrikavahini or Vrikaruda because she rides a wolf. She has 10 arms holding various weapons while her hands display the fear-dispelling Abhaya Mudra. Day 4 is Kushmanda Devi. Kushmanda is a compound word comprising Ku, which means small, Ushma, which means warm, and Anda, which means egg. So, Kushmanda means small, warm egg, or the source of creation, or prana. She is worshipped for new beginnings and good health. Her vegetable is Kushmanda or white pumpkin, and she resides in the Anahata chakra, energizing Ojas. Dressed in royal blue, wearing sandalwood paste and riding a lion, Kushmanda Devi has 8 arms holding the Trishulam, the chakra, the mace, the hook, the sword, the arrow and 2 jars of Amrita and blood. Her hands are in Abhaya Mudra. According to the Puranas, after Jatukasura was killed, 2 asuras, Mali and Sumali, began intense tapas. Their radiance or tejas was so high that it attracted the sun, who went to investigate. But his intense heat burnt up Mali and Sumali. This enraged Shiva, who threw his Trishulam at the sun, rendering him unconscious and plunging the world into darkness. His father, sage Kashyapa, got very upset and cursed Shiva, who then asked Mother to help. With a small smile or coo, she energized the sun by embedding herself inside him. So, the source of energy of the sun comes from Mother. Day 5 is Skanda Mata. Skanda Mata means mother of Skanda, Kartikeya or Shanmukha, the general of the Devas or Deva Senapati. Dressed in yellow, fair in complexion and bearing a serene expression. She has 4 arms, 3 eyes and her hands hold the fear-dispelling Abhaya Mudra. She rides a lion and holds the lotus and Skanda. She represents motherhood, enlightenment, purity and safety for her worshippers, and she resides in the Vishuddha Chakra. Worship of Skanda Mata gives the dual benefit of worshipping Durga and Kartikeya. In the Puranas, Shiva and Shakti went into a dance or lasya when 6 embers emerged from Shiva's Trinetra or third eye. No one could hold it because it was so intense. Agni could not hold it, so he passed it to Ganga, who could not hold it either. And ultimately, these embers fell into what is called Sharavana Lake or Sharavana Poigai. And as soon as they fell into the Sharavana Lake, 6 babies emerged. Parvati, who was bathing close by, saw these beautiful babies and embraced them into one body with 6 heads or Shanmuga. Day 6 is Katyayani Mata. With Tarakasura vanquished, it was now the turn of Mahishasura to be defeated. Mahishasura or the buffalo Asura had obtained a boon that no man or deva could defeat him. So mother took the avatara of Katyayani or the daughter of Katyayana Rishi, who got his daughter after intense tapas or penances. She is mounted on a lion with 18 arms holding various weapons given to her by various devas, and her hands are in fear-dispelling Abhaya Mudra as well as boon-granting Varada Mudra. With fierce eyes and glowing with the effulgence of 1,000 suns, Katyayani Ma is considered to be one of the fiercest and most powerful of the Navadurgas. She is also called Mahishasura Mardini for having vanquished Mahishasura in the hills of Mysuru in Karnataka. Associated with the color red, she controls the Agnya Chakra and loves honey. She is worshipped for overcoming opposition, success, wealth, and a strong spiritual life. Also, unmarried girls keep Katyayana Vrata for finding suitable partners. Saptami is dedicated to Kalaratri Durga. Kala means time and more specifically death, and Ratri means night. And while Kalaratri Durga is specifically worshipped on the 7th day, she is also worshipped on all the other 7 days as the enveloping power of sunset. Mother represents samsara, the rejuvenation of the soul after night when day comes, and life after death, in the eternal cycle of birth and death. She is also called Shubhankari, or one who bestows auspiciousness in her devotees. She is a dark, fearsome old woman with 3 large eyes and disheveled hair, who is dressed in grey. She rides a powerful donkey, carries a sword and an elephant hook, and her hands are in the fear-dispelling Abhaya Mudra as well as the boon-granting Varada Mudra. She rules the night and destroys all demons, ghosts, spirits, and negative energies who flee at her presence. While she is mentioned in the various Puranas such as Skanda Purana, Markandeya Purana, and Devi Mahatmyam, she is also mentioned in Mahabharata on the last day when Ashwatthama destroys the Pandava families. She is mentioned as an old lady who sits amongst the destruction, wailing loudly, signifying the destruction, carnage, and the misery of war. On Ashtami, Parvati becomes Maha Gauri. Maha means great. Gauri means pure, fair, and clean. Wearing a white sari with a golden border, she rides a bull and has 4 arms, holding a trident and a damaru, with her hands in fear-dispelling Abhaya Mudra as well as boon-granting Varada Mudra. In the Puranas, 2 Asura brothers, Shumba and Nishumbha, got a boon from Brahma that no mortal could kill them. Meanwhile, their lieutenants, Chanda and Munda, saw Devi and were captivated by her beauty. They informed Shumba, who first tried to win her over through his lieutenant Sugriva. When that failed, Shumba decided to abduct Mother. First he sent Dhumralochana with a huge army, but as they approached, multiple Durgas emerged from Mother and the army was slaughtered. Then Chanda and Munda came, but they were also killed by Mother as Chamundi. Next he sent Mahishasura's brother Raktabija. Now Raktabija had got a boon that whenever a drop of his blood fell to the earth, another Rakta Bija would emerge. So it was almost impossible to defeat him. But mother had a solution. During combat, when a drop of blood came out of Rakta Bija, mother asked Kali to go and suck that blood. So no blood fell to the floor. And over time, Rakta Bija became weak and mother killed him with her trident. Finally, Shumba and Nishumba were forced into combat with mother and they were also vanquished. On Mahanavami, that is day 9, mother takes the avatara of Siddhidatri. Siddhi is perfection and the ability to change one's material form. And Dhatri is the cognate of the word Dhata or giver. So Siddhi Dhatri Mata gives perfection and the ability to change one's material form. In the Puranas, initially everything was a void or Brahman. Then mother manifested, but she needed an identity to project her dynamic manifestation or Yogamaya. So she created 3 devas who represented the 3 gunas. Tamas for Shiva, Sattva for Vishnu and Rajas for Brahma. But these were masculine or static energies and they needed a dynamic consort in order to project mother's Yogamaya. So she asked the 3 devas to meditate on her. When they did, she was very pleased and she gave Brahma Saraswati or knowledge. For any creative activity, knowledge is required and the 2 were paired. But knowledge without dharma is meaningless and Vishnu is the bedrock of dharma or sattva or balance on the earth. So she anchored Brahma to the navel of Vishnu. But dharma by itself is not enough and needs material wealth. And she created Lakshmi as the consort of Vishnu. So the universe could project her Yogamaya. Lastly, for Shiva, who is our primordial identity, she gave Shakti, who is the manifestation of our identity. What this means is that our identity comes alive only when it is expressed. And so Shiva and Shakti cannot be separated. And that is why Shiva and Shakti are in what is called Ardhanarishvara or Ardhangani. Finally, she gave them the 8 Siddhis, the 14 worlds and the Vedas. Associated with the color purple, Siddhidhatri Mata wears a red sari and sits on a lotus or a lion. She holds a Shankha, Chakra, Gada and a lotus. And she is flanked by Siddhas, Yogis, Devas, Asuras and everybody pay obeisance to her. In many parts of Bharat, this day is called Saraswati Puja and everyone worships their tools of trade and belongings such as homes, cars, books, pens and everything from plows to PCs. The logic is that all that we use in our life is a Purusha or a person and we must be grateful to those entities for enriching our lives. Vijaya-dashami or Dasera is the 10th day after Navaratri. As the day suggests, Vijaya means victory, Dashami means 10th day. In Bharat, this day is celebrated differently across various parts of Bharat. In the south, this day is celebrated as Durga's victory over Mahishasura and the beginning of knowledge. So on this day, everybody learns something new and this is called Vidyarambam. In the north, effigies of Ravana are burnt in what is called Ravana Dahanam to commemorate the victory of Sri Rama over Ravana. In Gujarat, people dance the Dandiya and Garbha in praise of Mother as the cosmic source of creation. In the east, on this day, everybody bids goodbye to Mother by immersing the deities of Mother, which they have worshipped for 9 nights, in various ponds, rivers and water bodies. After this Visarjan, Mother is said to return to Kailasha with her family. In the Puranas, after Durga defeated Mahishasura, she was in a very high state of effulgence and nobody could see her or worship her. So everybody beseeched Mother, said, "Please Mother, we can't see you. Do something about it. Reduce your intensity." Mother smiled and said, "I will take Samadhi in this temple and you can come and visit me." So she is said to have taken samadhi in a temple called Ulaganagi Amman Temple in Devi Pattinam, which is about 14 kilometers from Ramanathapuram. Anyone going to Rameshwaram can just stop off at Ramanathapuram and pay a visit to Mother at Devi Pattinam, which means Mother's Town. Devi Pattinam means Mother's Town. So this Navratri, immerse yourself in the feminine and masculine aspects of creation and marvel at how Bharat's ancient rishis understood this experience. Subscribe now for more epic history and hit the bell icon so that you never miss a legendary story. What historical event would you like us to cover next? Drop your suggestions in the comments.